Hi, this is the first time I've tried a video in a while, but I thought since we're coming up on Thanksgiving and pies are such a big part of the holiday menu that I would try making a pat-a-pan pie crust for you so you can see how it's done. It really is one of the easiest pie crusts you can make because there have been times when I've been like, I'm just gonna go buy a frozen pie crust, but that takes longer than making this. We can have this done in a few minutes. Many Amish cooks use this. You don't have to use the rolling pin. I have the rolling pin out, but you do not have to use it, so I'll put it aside. You just make the pie crust in the pan. So we already have the sugar and salt in the pie pan. I'm gonna add a 1.5 cups of flour. Just add it there. The only thing you have to do ahead of time is wash your hands, which I've done, and you mix it with your fingers. Just get it, the salt and the sugar and the flour all combined, mixed. Actually, you know what? If you used a fork, then you wouldn't have the mess and it would achieve the same result. So that was our first tip, is don't use your fingers in the pie pan. You can use a fork and get the exact same result without the mess. So now we're going to do 3 tablespoons of milk in vegetable oil, which I measured out. So pour that in. That was a 1/2 cup of vegetable oil. And then we do 3 tablespoons of milk. Well, there you go. This recipe is hard to mess up. And watch, I'll mess it up on this video, but it's really difficult to mess up. 3 tablespoons. And you mix it up just in the measuring cup, just like this. Not a big deal. Now, I'll be honest with you, I've skipped this step before and just dumped the vegetable oil and the milk in the pie pan directly. It turned out fine. So you can even skip this step if you want, but for the sake of this video, I thought I would do it. And now we pour it in here. So you just make sure it's all in there, and then all you do, and this part, well, we'll use the fork to avoid getting my fingers all covered with dough again, but you can use your fingers or you can use a fork. Just get the moisture spread throughout the dry mixture. You know, some people when they bake, they don't make a mess. I'm not one of those people. I wish I were. But anyway, this is probably enough. I just made a mess. But you know, you use your fingertips and combine it and mix it in the pan and see when you have a dough. Now you may need to add a little bit more flour to it if it's too moist. Get it to the perfect, what you consider to be perfect consistency, and see the way I'm doing it. You just have to it's called a pat-a-pan pie crust, so this is the part that has the pat-a-pan. I'm doing it. You may want to grease your pie pan a little bit. Cooking spray is fine, butter is fine. I mean, it just takes a few minutes to get it. Okay. I figured you didn't need to see 2 minutes of me just beating down this pie crust and pressing down on it, so we cut that part out. But this is done. I mean, this is a good pie crust. For those of you who want to make things pretty, fancy, you can flute the edges and do all sorts of things. But as a working pie crust, and I will fill this pie crust up later with something and show you how it bakes and how it cuts. But you know, if you're having a gathering and you need to make 4 or 5 pies, this is easy. You can double the recipe, or you can just make it in each 9-inch pie crust. Now, the only other question I've been asked is, what about a top crust? I've not tried this recipe with a top crust. I think that would be difficult. I think it would make a great crumb-type topping, or lattice maybe. I don't know, you can experiment. But this is a tough recipe to screw up. Just make your pie crust in the pie pan and enjoy. So now I want to show you the actual pie crust. I mean, it turned out well, and what I did was I made a cinnamon oatmeal pie. Here it is, out of the oven, and I'm gonna show you how well this crust cuts. Try this. And it's a good pie too. Oatmeal pie is one of my favorite. I'll put a link to the recipe down in the comments. But here you go. Your hands are clean. This pie is still warm. But look, I mean, that crust is nice. It holds together very nicely. And you know what? Cinnamon oatmeal pie is great. Just put a little whipped cream on it. And I will have a bite because it's really good. So, pat-a-pan pie crust. My daughter's taking this video right now. I hope I'm not filling my face too much, but this is really, really good. I don't know which is better, the crust or the actual pie. All right, thank you.